Let's have a look at compound interest. Compound interest is the interest on the principal in a savings account or short-term long deposit. It's generally calculated using compound interest rather than simple interest. When interest is added to principal at regular intervals, increasing the balance of the account, and each successive interest payment is calculated on the new balance, it is called compound interest. Compound interest can be calculated by calculating simple interest one period at a time. The amount to which the initial investment grows is called the compound value or the future value. So with simple interest, the interest will be the same every year because it is calculated on the initial balance of the investment or the loan. With compound interest, the principal changes every year. So the interest gets added to the principal each year. Hence, the calculations are different. Let me demonstrate how compound interest works by using this example. Kiner invests $8,000 at 8% per annum for 3 years with interest paid at the end of each year. Find the compounded value of the investment by calculating the simple interest on each year separately. So simple interest is used to do the calculations in compound interest, but the difference will be that each year the principal on which the interest is calculated actually changes. So let's get underway here with this calculation. We'll start with year 1. And the amount at the start will be the $8,000. Okay, now to work out the interest, we actually do a little simple interest thing here. So I equals the principal, which is $8,000, times the rate, which is 8%, multiplied by 1 for 1 year. I'm going to do this a shorter way in a minute, over 100. Okay, so if we do that, 8,000 multiplied by 8 and then divided by 100, we get $640. Okay, so the interest is $640. So put that in there. Okay, so the amount now is $8,640 at the end of the year. Okay, let's go to year 2. Now the amount at the start is $8,640, so the amount we had at the end of year 1. This is how it differs from simple interest, where it would be $8,000 for each year. We now calculate the interest. Now I'm going to show you a shortcut here, which will save a lot of time. So 8,640 multiplied by the interest rate, the 8% as a decimal. Now 8% as a decimal is 0.08. Okay, so in fact I really could have done just 8,000 times 0.08 here, but I just wanted to show you how we use this simple interest formula to calculate the interest every year. So 8,640 multiplied by 0.08, and we get $691.2, so that's 20 cents. Okay, let's put the dollar sign in there. $691.20. That now gets added to 8,640. Okay, and we get $9,331.20. Okay, so let's put all my dollar signs in here. So I should, and over here as well. Moving on now to year 3. So we carry over the amount from the last year. That's $9,331.20. Calculate the interest. Equals 9331.2 multiplied by 0.08. So times by 0.08. Multiplied by 0.08 equals. So we're rounding off to the nearest dollars and cents here. So we've got $746 and 50 cents. We then add that to the previous balance here, okay, which was $9,331.20. And we get $10,077.70. $10,077.70. There we go. There's the amount of the investment after 3 years. Now, just pointing out, this is the big difference here between compound and simple interest. The interest is compounding. So notice how that end figure becomes the figure at the start of the next year. And that's what the interest is calculated on. Okay, then that comes over there. Okay, and if we went for more years, it would keep on going. With simple interest, if we had a simple interest investment, the interest would be the same every year because the amount would always be calculated on the 8,000. 8,000, 8,000, 8,000, and you get the same amount of interest each year. So with compound interest, the interest varies each year. That's what I want you to take out of that. All right, so here's a chart where you've got simple interest and compound interest and how it changes over time. Okay, so you've got $8,000, you invested 8%, and you've got simple interest. And notice here, you might not notice, but each year it's $640. So 640 plus 640 plus 640, etc. All right. Here, the interest is going up each year. It's increasing the amount. If we subtracted each year from the other, you'd notice that the amount of interest each year would be much higher. Okay, and you can compare the two figures. At the end here, you've got 6,807. With simple interest, you've only got 5,120. And that can be seen here from a graph. The simple interest is a straight line. Same amount of interest each year. Compound interest is going up. And the more years it goes on, the more you're benefiting. Okay. After 6 years, you can see here, okay, the difference. So there's the amount of interest there on that scheme. Blue line and the yellow line. Okay, if I do a yellow line at 6 years, okay, you're making heaps more over here. All right, nearly $5,000 as opposed to just under $4,000. So you can see there that compound interest gives you more interest. Now, if you've got an investment, of course, that's nice, but if it's a loan, it means you're paying back more. Now it's time to look at the compound interest formula. Because doing those long tables, if we just go back, okay, that's all right for 3 years, but if we've got 20 years, 25 years for some of these loans and some of these investments, you don't want to really have to do a big table like that. So we have got a formula, okay? Now, the difference between this and the simple interest formula is that the answer is the amount that you've got in the account or owing on the loan after a certain period of time. So it's actually the amount you invested or the amount you borrowed plus the interest is the A. So the A is the future value of the investment. Maybe if I just talk about investments for the moment. P is the amount or present value that you're investing now. R is the interest rate per compounding period as a decimal. Okay, we'll get to that in a sec. And then to work out the actual interest, you actually subtract what you're investing now from what you get in the future. So A is the future value. We might try and do a question. Okay. William has $14,000 to invest. He invests the money at 9% per annum for 5 years with the interest compounded annually. Use the formula A equals P outside of 1 plus R to the N to calculate the amount to which this investment will grow. Well, let's start with that. Okay, so we're looking for, here we're trying to find A. A is question, let's change the colour of the pen there. Go back to black. All right, so A is what we're trying to find. P is the amount we're investing, and that's $14,000. We have $14,000 to invest. Just to fix that up. Sorry. So 14,000. Okay, R is the rate of interest as a decimal, and I'm going to do that conversion straight away. Now we have to get used to converting percentages to decimals. 9% is 9 on 100. You can work in the calculator if you like, but it's 0.09. Okay, And n will be the number of times it compounds. So it's compounding annually for 5 years, okay? So once a year for 5 years, it's going to compound 5 times. All right, so that's the first thing to do, is write down the values. And then you can put in the formula. A equals 14,000, open brackets, 1 plus 0.09 to the power of 5. So you can see there's a formula, and I've placed the values in there. All right, time to work this out. And I'll bring my calculator over. I hope this calculator has a raising to the power button. Not sure that it has. So I won't use that one just at the moment. I'll use the one next to me here. All right, so let's have a look at this question. And in class, of course, you'll have all sorts of different types of calculators, so I can give you a hand with whatever you need here. So I'm just putting this in, 14,000, open brackets, 1 plus 0.09, close brackets, and raising to the power of 5. Okay, so let's do that again. I mucked it up, I think. So it's 1.09 to the power of 5 multiplied by 14,000. Okay, so we get $21,540.74. As I said, I can give you a hand with how to do that in the classroom. There we go. So that's our future value. Always should make sure it makes sense. And 14,000, now we've got that. After about 5 years, that seems pretty good. Okay. Now, part B, so that's part A. Okay, so let's write that down. Part B, calculate the interest. All right. So the interest will be what we've got now minus what we invested, which is 14,000. Okay, and if we subtract that, we get $7,540.74. So that's our interest. Okay, so there's a bit of a starter on compound interest. Might do another example in class, but that will get you going. Exercise 15.5, questions 1 and 5. Hope that helps, and hope that gives you a good start into compound interest.